name's Billy Grant, and I co-run Besotted, which is BEE, We're the Brentford fanzine. We're a blog, we're a fanzine, and we're a podcast as well. And we do all sorts of stuff as well. Actually, even if you check the Brentford website this week, it's brentfordfc.com, we've actually done a video in conjunction with Brentford. They've asked us to replicate one of our fan videos and show how Brentford is a great place to bring families. And in a few weeks' time, we'll be showing one of the away fans.
All right.
Which I could talk about a little bit later. I was actually in with the away fans, the Nottingham Forest away fans, and before that Sheffield Wednesday away fans. In the end, there, just hanging out with them, and they love it down there. And like I said to you, a lot of you guys are coming down to Brentford, and girls as well coming down to Brentford this weekend. As you know, it's a great place to come. Loads of pubs, no bouncers on the doors. All the fans are really friendly. You know, manners, as we say. You come inside there, you've got the manners, we've got the manners. Enjoy your day out, and whoever gets 3 points, you know, it's all good. So yes. You know, I've been very, very busy with Besotted and doing other bits and pieces in and around football. So, I was born in Isleworth, which is just down the road from Brentford. I went to school literally about 100 yards from where we actually drink. We're going to meet a lot of the Wigan lads and lasses before the game in the pub as well. And I'm Brentford through and through. Even though, don't mention it too much, when I was a little kid I did support Leeds United, but I got that beaten out of me quite quickly, which is all good. So yeah, Brentford for probably 30, nearly 40 years now. I've been through the highs and through the lows. In the 80s and the 90s, we weren't very good. The 90s we got much better actually. I wouldn't say much better, we got better in the 90s. The 80s we were pretty poor, but when you've never seen decent football, anything that happens of any note is very good. So I think the highlight of our year, or of the 80s, I think was a few of them. I think it was when we got to the FA Cup quarter-final against Liverpool. We did a FA Cup run, which we beat Blackburn, which you'd probably be very happy with, and 4th rounds. And then we got Liverpool in the quarter-finals. We lost 4-0 to them, but it was a great day. 6,000 Brentford fans went up there, and I remember that because it was probably the first time that there was like a momentous moment as being a Brentford fan, because before that we never did anything. We weren't relegated, we weren't promoted in the years that I supported them. We just didn't do anything. We were just like a sort of kind of okay, sort of middling side. So that was all good. And then the 90s, we got a bit better. We got promoted to what is now the Championship, ahead of Birmingham City, which was very happy for us because we got a bit of a rivalry with Birmingham from the 90s as well. You know, we were always first, they were second, we were first. It was pretty quite hardcore at the time. You know, they used to come down to our place and, how shall I put it, they used to dismantle it, I think probably the word is, like, you know, as Birmingham used to do. So
maybe not as friendly as it's going to be on Saturday, possibly. But I mean, obviously there's a lot of history there. We've had quite a lot of meetings over the years as well, and obviously you mentioned the 80s, and that was I guess Wigan's first trophy as a football league club, as we met at Wembley in 1985, and we got that win. So I guess I was a little bit too young to get to Wembley that particular day, but I do remember quite a lot of meetings. Yeah, I remember quite a lot of meetings, over the years. We tended to sort of float around roughly around the same divisions, and then as you were improving, I think in the 90s, we were kind of sort of really, really struggling. We did flirt with going into the out of the Football League, in the mid 90s, and I guess what kind of happened is then we went the other way. We crossed paths a couple of times, and then obviously we had our years kind of in the Premier League and didn't meet for a while, and then I guess we crossed paths again. I think sort of 4 years ago, when I guess we were one of the big sides in the division on paper. We'd only been 2 years out of the Premier League, and one of the favourites at the start of the season. And obviously we had your old manager Rossler in there, and hopes were high, but it all went pear-shaped. And as we were going pear-shaped, you had Warburton, and you had an excellent season. So I'm just wondering kind of the comparisons really between that season 4 years ago, where you made the playoffs, if I'm right in saying, and this season. I mean, are you as optimistic this season as making the playoffs? Because certainly the bookies are seeing you now as one of the favourites to finish in the top 6. So I was just wondering what your view is on that.
Yeah, so let me just quickly come back there, because I just want to briefly talk about that Leyland Dafka, because I just have to mention it, because it was pretty much kind of in that area when you were Springfield Park based Wigan, and that was actually our first chance of actually winning a trophy in my time supporting Brentford. And we were properly like favourites for that game, and you were like, no one rated you at all. I think you had Paul Jewell playing for you at the time. It was really funny, and we didn't find out until later because we got well and truly beaten on the day. Gary Roberts scored, but you beat us 3-1, and we didn't find out until we did one of our besotted events. We do events with like ex-players. We did one every season the other day, and they told us that basically Wigan, you guys took that game really seriously, and you did the right things and the training, and you got out there and you just said, look, let's just go in there and do our best. Whereas the Brentford team thought they'd won it already, so they basically, I think they went to Corfu for a week and just went on the line.
It was a bit odd, yeah, because it was in June, I think, which was really odd because they have it in the middle of the season now, don't they? But I seem to recall it was like toward, like almost going into the sort of the end of the season, so that's probably why they've had the end of season trip to Corfu.
That's right. He told us, they said to us, we thought, let's go on a team bonding, and they sort of all flew up to talk Corfu for a week, and the stories they were telling us, it was just carnage. I mean, I'm surprised half of them made the team back. Chris Kamara was out there as well, he was part of our team at the time. Literally, there was absolutely no way in the world we were going to win that match, because basically, I don't think they were sober for the whole 7 days they were out there. So anyway, so bringing that back to now, where I think we're a little bit more professional in the way we go about doing it.
I would hope so, yeah.
We in that years, like I said to you, when you came down, I remember when we played you, and we were a little bit in an awe because obviously I think you were favourites to go back up as well that season.
Yeah, we had a good end to we got a good end to the previous season. We missed out in the playoffs. Rossler had done a good job. He'd picked us up after a bad spell with Coyle, and everything was looking good. We were, as you said, we were the favourites for promotion, but he didn't sign very well, Rossler. Suddenly the football went backwards, and then we kind of panicked and got the Malky Mackay in, and to be honest, it was a disaster. Whereas yourselves were going the other way, and you were sniffing out the Premier League, weren't you?
Yeah, well, it's interesting you should say that, because Rossler, we had a really good relationship with Rossler. He used to call us up as beside the fans in all the time, ask us various things, tell us if it's anything we needed, we can have it. He was a really good bloke. We actually really, really liked him, and he actually invited us to the Wigan versus QPR game at QPR. And we were actually in the Wigan end, desperately hoping that you guys would beat them. QPR are not either a team in West London, as far as we're concerned. Didn't quite go according to plan. But then the following season, what happens? I remember it got a little bit kind of, because that's the season that we got promoted. Because he jumped ship and he went to Wigan halfway through the season when he was doing quite well at Brentford. We thought he should have stayed there because at least he would have got a badge saying I've got an honour under my belt.
Yeah.
Doesn't have an honour under his belt. There we go. But in the end, Mark Warburton was given the job. He took over. Mark Warburton was at the time. He was, basically he was given the job by the owner who liked his attitude, but he had no experience in management or anything like that. Then he was given the job as a director of football, which basically means that he had to help looking for the players and use his academy sources. But to be fair to the owner at the time, when Warburton was the jump ship, Warburton and he told us this in one of our interviews. He goes, Bill, I was director of football at the time. I love coaching, I love beating the players, and I was given the job to find a new manager.
Yeah.
He goes, He goes, I had a short list. He goes, Bill, I had 27 names, some proper big heavy hitters. He goes, but he wouldn't name them, but it's probably Holloway is probably on there, probably all the names that are on there. He said,
Steve McLaren.
But he just went off the owner and he said, "Here's the job. Let me do it." And the owner went, "You're right then." And literally, and we were probably about fourth or fifth at the time, and it was we needed to get that push to go up. And to be fair, the owner, we gave it to someone who was a rookie, who hadn't done it before, but because he thought the principles, I like your principles, your footballing principles are right, we're working together as a family, let's move forward. And the reason why I mention that, that's kind of what Brentford are about. And as we move forward and as we talk about what's happening now, it's kind of less about the person and more about buying into what Brentford's all about.
Yeah, I think we've got. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we've got that back to a certain extent, or with Paul Cook coming in and his, previous player, and it's feeling like that family club again. Everyone's together. Last season was fantastic, and And yeah, I mean, I think it's good because we're obviously both very much the smaller clubs of this division, and I think it's quite nice actually that we're both doing quite well, and we're going to meet on Saturday, aren't we? As two sides who are in the sort of top 8 or 9 in the table. I know it's only early days, but I think we're both quite optimistic. So I mean, building on from that, what do you think of this season then? I mean, do you think?
This season, well, I'm going to just quickly come back to, and I know it'll move on, but I just got to talk about the season because
no problem.
Rosler, and like I said, we like him. Remember we had this little spat between us, right? Between us as clubs and between us as fans. He basically went to sign Adam
Forshaw, yeah. It went on and on and on, didn't it? Yeah.
Oh, well, the thing about it is that not be funny, we know exactly what happened with that whole scenario. We knew what was happening at the time. And I know a lot of fans were going, Brentford fans, what you get. Now, there's two things about us. First of all, we just come out of Division 1 and come into the Championship, and this was new to us. So people wanted to sign our best players.
Yeah.
Normally, no one wants to sign any one of our players, and if they do, we normally say, here you go, give us 50 quid and you can have it. So at the time, Forshaw was a really key player for us, and we really did like him, and we as Besotted actually had spoken to him a few weeks beforehand, and he was, inverted commas, injured for the Barnet game. We were like, you're injured, all right, you can be all right, A few weeks later, of course, the bids come in, and the rumours having it at Wigan or after Forshaw. We were like, I don't know what's going on there. But what happened was, and I'll tell you this for a fact, is that it was kind of like they put in the bid was ridiculously low, and also the player had been upset. His head was turned, but also he got to the stage where he was like, I ain't gonna play for Brentford anymore. So we were in this really weird position for us, where we had a player who was not going to play for us anymore. We had a really low bid. He kind of had to go, but we couldn't not go, and it was just a really, really weird situation. So the club was sort of pulling their hair out, trying to think, listen, how can we sort this situation? Rosler knew exactly what the price was on him, but he kind of like, instead of doing the manners thing for the club who sort of sorted him out and took care of him, and said, listen, here we go, Forshaw, you're worth 2 million or 2.5 million, let's start at 2 million and go up from there. He just went in at 500,000 or 600,000, and they just kind of just caused a lot of bad vibes. So that kind of killed Rosler's kind of good faith with a lot of the people within Brentford at the time, because he just didn't do his business really well. Like I said to you, we went on that season to we won promotion that season, and like I said to you, the team that we had was brilliant. They were playing really, really exciting football, and for the first time, everyone said, this is fantastic football. Warburton's making us play fantastic football. We love the football that he's playing. That's really great. Now, you asked me to compare it to now. What was interesting is that we had a great team which is on momentum from the season before, which you probably know a little bit about that. You get promotion, you come up from the following season, and you start to do really well because you've got players on the road, and you bring in a few extra players and they're doing really well. Plus, Warburton was just playing a style of football that people weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Kind of playing this kind of pool or bust, as we say. You know what I'm saying? So we go for a game, and we got 3 points, brilliant. But if we lost, we lost the game. And the view was, it's much better to play 6 games and win 4 and lose 2 than win 3 and draw 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So playing with that sort of kind of mentality, almost like a Kevin Keegan type mentality. So it was great. We really did really well that season. That following season, we had a lot of scenarios that happened, including the Warburton scenario where he actually decided to leave the club because for various reasons, but things weren't going as smoothly behind the scenes as we thought they were, and there were various sort of transfers that maybe should have happened or could have happened, which didn't happen. Everyone wasn't seeing eye to eye as such, so the owner changed the rules that Warburton didn't have the final say in every transfer because there was a lot of blocking that was going on, and we work as a sort of more of a collaborative thing where all the different parties throw in their 2 pence worth. So the owner, he's got this, as you know, he's got his statistical modelling company, which basically makes billions of money, loads of money out of identifying players and all these different stats. So he can find players in places that you've never known, which will say it looks quite good actually, try them out. That was working for us when we found Hotter and Andre Gray and all these other players. It's fine. Then it came. Everton said, sometimes you need to have a bit of a safe pair of hands.
Yeah.
Somebody who'll come in, steady the ship, get the players on board, good work with the players, really nice person, personable, and then he kind of gets on with it, but also understands the bigger picture, what the club's about, and buys into it. So,
and Dean Smith, I mean, obviously, just very quickly, at the time that you got Dean Smith, he was kind of our rival the previous time we were in the League One, because he was the Walsall manager, and Walsall were going very well, and we were up there. Yeah. And they fell away a bit as he left, and I thought to myself, well, that's a sign that this guy is really good. He's getting Walsall, if you like, batting above their average, and I've kind of looked out for Brentford since to see how he was getting on, and it sounds like he's getting on very well from what you're saying.
Yeah, he's good. We have to say that he did have his, he had his dodgy patches. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd come in and all of a sudden you have a run where we'd not win, or we'd win one game in 20. And all the fans, typical football, like, oh no, Dean Smith's got to go, terrible manager.
Yeah,
the next run,
very fickle, yeah.
18 games out of 20 or something like that. It was ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? So he'd go on these like black and white runs the whole time, and people didn't know really what to say. So one minute they wanted him out, next minute they think he's the best thing since sliced bread. And that went on for a couple of years, where he just went on these really strange runs. But fair play to the owner. If he was at Aston Villa, he would have been out after 6 games. If he's at Leeds United, he'd have been out after 6 games.
He'd have been out after 6 minutes if he'd have been at Leeds United.
Yeah, right. But the owner, when you sort of said to him, Dean, which way? He goes, he's doing a great job. He's steadied the ship. He's helped us out when there's lots of problems. He's sorted out the politics. When he came, there was a divided dressing room, but he's got everyone together. And he goes, and now he's building the future. So, we've got to stick with him. And I thought that's a brilliant view. He's like, you've got an employer who looks at somebody and thinks, I think that you, in long term, is a great manager. Yeah, there might be a few flaws here and there, but I'm going to work with you with that and help you over the years to become a better manager. And then what they'll end up doing is that he ended up putting teams around with different people. He brought one person in from Denmark to work with him in a particular area, someone else, and he's got all sorts of different people around him. So it's not only about Dean Smith. He's got, honestly, a massive team of analysts and scouts and, different treatment people and all sorts of stuff working around him to help him do what he does. So, coming to the question when people say, do you think Dean Smith's going to leave? Of course he might leave it one day, but what he knows is that he's got a pretty good deal at Brentford, because he's got an owner that likes him, an owner who believes in him, an owner that will give him the leeway to do, to build, but also he's got this infrastructure around him where he's got a brilliant scouting network, which goes from the analytics side to the other scouts. He's got this, free kick coach and this coach and the other coach and this Danish guy and the other. But he's got all these things going on, which has helped him. So a lot of this, coming back to Uwe Rosler, when you said to me earlier, Uwe Rosler and his signings were a little bit, not sure. We said this at the time, and I wrote an article for the Three Amigos, if you check it out. JJ, the Three Amigos, I wrote in an article, and he asked me about that, and I said, look, really nice guy, played really great football. He's the one that set us up in the passing game. However, what I will say is that we're not sure at the time what he brings to the party in terms of recruitment and all these other things, and we believe it's a team at Brentford, not just about one person. And I think when Uwe Rosler left and he didn't have the recruitment team and the people around him, I think that he got exposed to a certain extent.
He did, yeah, very much so. You hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, it was. He picked up some decent signings that Owen Coyle had made, and obviously we still had the Premier League players, and he managed them very well. He got them going again, but when we needed to kick on and he got his opportunity in the transfer market, as you quite rightly said, he just signed players that were not good fits for the Championship, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I think if there was any doubt about him, it was in terms of his recruitment, really. So maybe you're being a bit.
One thing I will just say about Uwe, and you might find this funny as well, that Uwe Rosler, he loved his summer training camps, okay, and he used to do them in Germany, and he did a training camp which is brilliant, and all the fans went over to it and saw a couple of matches, and for us it was the first time that Brentford had opened this out to a sort of international tour where the fans could go and enjoy it. But what we didn't realise until after he left, that basically Uwe's summer camps were absolutely feared, because it was it was like Iron Man, you know what I'm saying? So you had to go out, he'd literally put you through the absolute, the grill, and it'd be a complete and utter nightmare.
Yeah, well, we had to cancel it. We had to cancel a friendly because we had players injured. So many players injured after the camp. We had to cancel a friendly. So make of that what you will. So just very very quickly on the Smiths, just a very quick answer. I mean, kind of first of all, do you see him managing the Premier League? And if the answer is yes, might be being a bit facetious here. Is he going to manage in the Premier League with Brentford, or is he going to manage in the Premier League with another team?
I think what Dean Smith will do is I think he'll give it a go with Brentford. He knows that we're very close now. And again, I'm not being facetious, but the team that we've got now, or the squad we've got now, is better than the one that got to the playoffs 4 years ago.
Yeah.
We had Andre Gray, we had Pritchard and all that lot, but it was very weak. If we'd lost one player or two players, it would have been over. But we were very, very lucky that season. Now what we've got a strengthened depth. We've got some really great players. We've got some really great up-and-coming players. So I think Dean Smith sees that, and he knows that we've got a great opportunity. Talked to a few people, they're saying, they're without being overly confident, they're saying, to be quite honest with you, we're kind of right up there with the teams. If you look at top six last season, if you look at top six now, if we play to our potential and don't have the injuries, then we're definitely right up there in the mixer. So I don't see there's any reason why Dean Smith wouldn't have a go, because it's a great opportunity for him to move with the cupboards moving forward. Also, we are moving to our new stadium in 2 years' time, and I would like to think that Dean Smith would like to be there for that moment as well, when we're moving to the new stadium, whether or not it's in the Championship. Hopefully, don't get relegated, this season, or it's in the Premier League. So I don't see it happening so soon. I think that after that, he may have looked at options, because he's a manager, he's a head coach, and maybe after that he has a go at Brentford. Maybe they make it or they don't make it, and he might turn around and say, "Tell you something, I've done it. I've done what I needed to do. Now I'm going to take it to that next level." But I think he'll definitely give it a little bit of a push and give it at least another couple of years where he knows that he is loved.
Yeah. So, I mean, on the basis of that, I mean, quite clearly on Saturday, I mean, I see you now as a quite well established Championship side who's obviously actually pushing to get into the Premier League. So quite clearly you will start as favourites on Saturday. But I was just wondering, like, kind of what your view has been on Wigan. I know it's relatively early in the season, but just kind of what your view is, and are there any particular players who you're a little bit worried about, in terms of the quality of the Wigan team?
I think that Wigan, like I said to you, I speak to Warbo, talk quite a bit. I speak to the Leipzig. I speak to quite the Mud Hutter characters. I speak to quite a few characters, and when you went down, a little bit glad that he come back up again. We always like a little visit to Wigan, and I was sort of kind of quite not surprised by your start, but I was quite pleased by your start. I think, because I think it's how you start in the season is how you can get your confidence. And some teams come straight back up and they flounder. But the fact that you've kind of come there with a little bit of confidence as well, I think, which is quite good. I was actually at the launch of the Quest TV show at the beginning of the season with Ian Holloway and a few of the others, and it's really funny over listening to the pundits trying to sort of make out they knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
But a few of them were going, "Oh yeah, we think Wigan I think they're going to really go for it this season, and I think that they can actually do a double bounce and go straight to the Premier League." And I was thinking, cool, that's quite an interesting call for these guys. I don't know where they got their information from, but there's a bit of an air of confidence that the way that you performed in Division 1 would actually you put you in the driving seat for this season. As for myself, for players, obviously Will Griggs, a player who's well known at Brentford.
Of course, yeah.
He played for Brentford. Yeah, we signed from him from Walsall at the time, which gave us a sort of similar type of sort of feud between us and the Walsall fans, as we had the Forshaw scenario with us and you guys. And he played for us. I remember he scored 2 goals on his debut, or is it home debut? I think it's his debut against Sheffield United, and he would have scored a third, I think, but he missed a hat-trick. We thought, brilliant signing this guy. We're going to go all the way. And then something happened, and it just didn't quite work out for him. But I was always his, they laugh at me on our Brentford podcast because they say to me, "You're Will Griggs' agent, Bill." I'm always thinking bigging him up, and I'm saying, yeah, Will Grigg. And then when he went off to Franchise FC, aka Dons, and he was scoring goals there and scoring against Man United, and I was going, I told you, we're not giving them the opportunity. But what actually really surprised me is that when he was that franchise, and then he came back, we sold him. We didn't bring him back. I thought we really thought we were going to bring him back, but obviously I think at the time, and this is their whole stats analysis thing, they thought the value that they got for him was good enough. Thank you very much. They probably got the sell-on clause, and I think they just thought, tell you what, let's let him go. And that was a real surprise for us, but that was a real test as to how Brentford operate. They just feel that if the player is basically over their value, that they value somebody on, then they let him go. And they obviously didn't think that he would fit in with the way that we fit. But we got like I said to you, it's Will Grigg's like obviously the main person that like I said that I was looking out for your team as well.
Because he scored in midweek as well for Northern Ireland, so I mean it should be full of confidence. He's made a good start to the season, so yeah, I mean hopefully that from our perspective that will continue. But I guess from yours it will be good to kind of analyse and see where you think he's up to. Because in my view, he's improved a lot as a player. Obviously, he's the Will Grigg goal scorer. We all know the song, but I actually thought last season he improved a lot. I think the Wigan coaching staff improved him a lot as an all-round player. So I think that's a good thing because in the Championship, if you can, the targets are not quite the same. We're not expecting him to get 25 goals in the Championship, but if he gets 15 and he can bring something else to the table as well, I think we'd be over the moon with that, really. And
15 is a lot of goals. I mean, our top goals didn't score 15 goals last season. I think Vibe scored. I think he scored 14. No. It was Malpe last season scored 13 or 14 goals, and he was our top scorer last season. And we were just literally a few notches away from getting the playoffs.
And it's and that's what I'm saying. I mean, 15 would be fantastic. I'm not saying he's going to get there and make bold statements, but he started well enough, and we play an attacking style really. So I might get telling you that we've been playing attacking. I mean, our last couple of games, there's only been a couple of goals, but we did start off the season with 2-2 draw, a couple of 3-2s either way, and so there seems to be goals. I'm just wondering, like, whether the way you set up and the way you think we're going to set up, do you think there are going to be goals on Saturday, or do you think it might be a tight game? And then I guess the final thing is, what would your prediction be? Let's see how you'll do in our prediction league, because the opposition fans are doing quite well so far, so no pressure.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, again, it depends if you're coming to play football, or if you're coming to park the bus, as they say.
We will play football. We'll play football. We don't know how to park the bus. I think Mourinho's got all our buses, so he can keep them.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing about it is that there's going to be goals because we score goals. We seem to, even though we've tried not to, we still letting a few goals here and there as well. Our defence has tightened up recently, as we've got two fantastic central defenders, Chris Mepham, who played for Wales the last couple of games. He came from our B team, which is our academy, which got disbanded and got moved into the B team, and he's played about 20 odd games for us, but now he's a key Wales player. He's only 20, and this guy called Percy Conser as well. We got him from Charlton last season as well. He's only 20 years old, fantastic. They're both ball playing, so our defence has tightened up to a certain extent, but we've been making these really silly mistakes, you know what I'm saying? Where we've the goalkeeper's headed the ball straight to kind of, giving him an open goal, just things like that. So we have to be careful of that. So for me to go around and say, definitely we're not going to let in the goal, I'll say no. We're playing attacking football. We're playing attacking football, which means that it's going to be an interesting game. We like to play, as you've probably seen our stats, we pass the ball around like it's it's just like it's fun. That's just what we do. We pass the ball around. You've got the triangles passing the ball around. Whether or not we can actually make the incisions and get ourselves into dangerous areas, that is the key. We did have the most shots in the whole of I think it might be the whole of the Football League last season, and obviously missed the most shots in the whole of the Football League, but at least we're creating the chances, which is a good thing. Last couple of games, few games we we've done all right. We've created a lot of chances in quite a few of the games, except for the Blackburn game up at Blackburn, where we just had an off game. We just lost there. They had one shot. They scored in one shot. We had 3 saves by the goalkeeper and a few other bits. But we just didn't win there. But that was a bit of a weird one for us. But other than that, we played Forest and we literally played them pretty much off the park. But we just beat them 2-1 with a late goal, an 81st and second minute goal, where technically we should have been 3-0 up at half time. So this is where, when you ask me the question, how's it going to go? We play our great football, will we be able to finish? The thing that we didn't have last week and against Blackburn was Maupay, who last season, you may or may not have seen, he got laughed off the earth because he got in front of the goal at Blackburn and literally he could have just touched it in and it would have gone in, and somehow he managed to sort of kind of spoon it, and I think it went over the crossbar.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He got absolutely caned for that, and to be fair to him, he came back from that and still became our top scorer, and with most of his goals coming off the bench. The belief was that he's young, he's from France, he didn't quite understand the game here, he's beginning to learn it, and he's going to become a better and a stronger player. And this season he's showing it already. He's a top scorer in the Championship, even though he's been out for 3 matches. He's scored, I think, 5 goals and 5 assists or something like that. He's a proper little terrier, and he's a real pain in the arse. When you see him playing against him, he's just a real pain. So the fact that he's back on Saturday is a really big boost for us, and I think that will probably just up the ante a little bit. And for Brentford, if we play the football that we normally play, we don't get any injuries, as we said, we get the ball up to Maupay, I see us winning probably 3-1 on Saturday.
3-1. Okay. I mean, obviously, we know it's going to be a tough game, and if we can come away there with anything from the game, really, against a side who I believe will be sort of at least in the top 8, if not the top 6. So yeah, I mean, it'll be a good game, and that's the thing we've all been saying. We're enjoying the football. It's great football to watch. And if we lost to Aston Villa 3-2, it's very disappointing when you lose in the last minute, but yeah. Once the dust settles, we're kind of the view, this is great football, we're attacking, we are breaking teams down, we look like we can score, and I think the defence is a little naive at the moment. So I suspect as we get towards Christmas and they've played together a lot more, I think we'll tighten up at the back, and I can't see any reason why we're not going to continue to cause some problems. So if it does go 3-1, if we do lose 3-1 Saturday, so be it. We're not going to be too pessimistic, and by the time we meet again, you never know. We might both be in the top 6. Here's hoping.
You never know. I mean, that'll be good. Let's look forward to it. Let's get rid of all these big teams who spend all their money and expect to be up there. Let's have them a little bit of a teaching of a lesson. Birmingham City, and I know you probably say I'm saying it because we've got this rivalry from them that goes back to the 90s, and it stretches back to now. The fact that they nicked 3 of our players and completely and utterly took the piss out of us last season. They nicked Hodgson, and Colin for 12 million pounds beginning of last season, and just said that feeder club and all that was business. And we ended up beating them 7-0 on aggregate last season, probably spending about a third of that money, or about 6 of that money on new players. And they're now in possible administration nonsense, you know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show you that it's not necessarily about spending your money out of a mess or spending your money up to success. It's actually about, taking your money and spending it wisely. And I know that sounds like a real cliche, but, I think people have got respect for teams who go out there and do things in a particular way and do well. So, if you play, Nottingham Forest is not a good example because they're just spending their way out as well, and they're in a bit of a pickle. But, if you see a team who's cleverly picking up players, either on loan or loan to sign, or signing with the right type of way, or finding players that people don't know about, I'm not talking about us, but other teams, as a fan, because you enjoy football and you sort of think, to be honest with you, as a team, I don't want you, my team, charging me £40 a week to go and see me play because you do your administration really badly and you keep on signing these managers who are rubbish, then you sack them, you've got to pay them a load of money. You keep playing players 20, 25, 30 grand a week who are rubbish, and then you end up expecting the fans to pay them. To me, that's not right. To me, we have more respect for teams who do things the right way, because if you do things the right way, then you've got a respect for everyone associated with the club, including the fans, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, thanks very much for that. That was a fantastic insight from the 1980s right up to the present day. Lots of detail, and I'm sure the listeners at this end are going to enjoy listening to that. So yeah, see you on Saturday, and let's hope it's a great game, and the result will be what it is, I guess.
Yes, indeed, indeed. And just to tell you something, if you want to check us as well, I mean, like I said to you, the Wigan posse are coming up to the pub beforehand. You all know which the pub is. I won't necessarily put an announcement on there, but all the Wigan fans, it won't take you very long to come to the pub that we drink in. Live, see the Mud Hut crew, I think, are coming down there. Cheryl, I think, is coming down
Yep.
as well. I think you guys are coming down as well. More than welcome to come
Oh,
down.
I'm in London from Wednesday anyway, so I've got a conference down there, so I've got plenty of time to warm up for the game.
That's right. So we're brilliant. So we'll see you lot down there as well. If you see us, we'll be with our videos. We do our video after the game, and also we do a post-match podcast on Beside. Beside.com is our website. We do a post-match podcast, so we record it with the fans, home and away fans. You give us your full review straight after the game, and it's normally live by about 6:30, 7 o'clock. So if you're driving home or in the train home to Wigan, you can listen to that, and it's normally very entertaining.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. Okay. Cheers for that. Thanks very much.
Awesome.
Thanks, mate. Bye bye.